So tonight, we are honored to have our commencement speaker, Mr. Bryan Calhoun. Bryan is a 1992 University of Georgia graduate and has had an amazing career. He has more than 25 years of experience at the nexus of technology, music, and business. As a member of the industry relations team at Pandora, he helps artists, labels, and managers maximize their opportunities on the platform. Always an artist advocate, he created the Music Business Toolbox, which is a book and a set of tools to empower musicians with actionable advice. He works with management powerhouse Maverick Blueprint Group, providing digital strategy for the roster of superstar artists including Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj, G-Eazy, The Roots, and many more. In 2015, he co-founded Freeform to allow artists to capitalize on the successful monetization strategy popularized by the free-to-play mobile gaming revolution. And Freeform was acquired by Zedge, the world's largest phone personalization app, to continue the vision with the expansion of a premium marketplace for artists to promote and sell their work to Zedge's 35 million monthly active users. He has worked with the labels Relativity, Sony, Red, and Warlock, and has run industry relations for Sound Exchange, an organization I believe all of you are very familiar with. He is a frequent speaker at music industry conferences and a voting member of the Recording Academy, and if he wasn't busy enough already, he has worked with many superstar artists, including Kanye West, 3 6 Mafia, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Nicki Minaj, T.I., Jill Scott, and Dr. Dre. In addition to those people, there are 3 very important people in his life who it would be a shame if we did not mention, and that is his lovely wife and children, Melanie, Maxwell, and Malia Calhoun, and Bryan likes to describe those as his 3 favorite MCs. I like that. Please give a warm welcome to Bryan Calhoun.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to David, Callan, the rest of the staff, faculty, the students. It's really great to be back here at the University of Georgia in Athens, where, as he mentioned, I graduated in 1992, a lifetime ago. I recently heard the story of an elderly gentleman by the name of Henry. He had been living in a nursing home for 10 years and was suffering from severe dementia. He was unresponsive, he was depressed and non-communicative. Then, through a program called Music in Memory, he was given an iPod with his favorite music on it. And the nurse, for the first time, put on headphones and pressed play. Immediately, he lights up. His eyes open wide, he starts to sing and move around and move his arms. He's animated by the music. He remembers who he is and reacquires his identity through the power of music. When I was young, I grew up as the only black kid in a neighborhood with mostly working class white kids who made it very apparent to me every day that I was not welcome there. When my family moved to from upstate New York to a much more diverse Atlanta, I discovered hip-hop, and specifically Public Enemy. Chuck D, the leader of the group, the MC, he had a commanding voice and delivered prophetic lyrics, and they called attention to the injustices that black people faced every day. The piercing music beds beneath were laid by the production team, the Bomb Squad, and they spoke to me in a way that I had never been spoken to before. He told me that I was right to be mad and that it was okay. He was speaking his truth, and his truth was also my truth. He articulated something that I was feeling, but didn't know how to articulate myself. Public Enemy's music changed my life. Who's that artist for you? What's that song? I tell you these stories to illustrate the fact that music isn't just nice. Music is important. It's inspiration. It is therapy. Music is human connection. Music saves people. But I think you know that, and that's why you're sitting here about to embark on a career in the music business. I'm sure you've had people tell you, just get a real job, or you're only doing this because it sounds like fun. But don't listen to them. They are just projecting their fears onto you. But you know what? The music business can be fun. However, it's okay to have fun and make a living at the same time. I often say to myself, what a job this is. Now, I applaud your parents for supporting you in this endeavor. In fact, right now I think we should acknowledge them and thank all of the parents who have supported you so far on your endeavors. But I bet some of them are nervous that you chose the field of the music business market. I know my parents were nervous. Okay, so nervous parents out there, I'm guessing, right? Look, it's not because they don't believe in you, but it's because they love you. They want what's best for you. The music business is notoriously difficult to break into and then have a sustaining career. The truth is they're right. It is hard. After graduation, I left Athens and went to Atlanta, and I was at a crossroads. I wanted to pursue a career in the music business, but my father, a career military officer and very conservative guy, he was concerned, and rightfully so. So I talked to my mentor, who was also my father's best friend. He's a very wise man by the name of Saul Walker. He was the kind of guy whose presence you felt as soon as he walked into a room. He was 6'7", and had a solution for any problem that you presented with him. He could deliver an aphorism that cut straight to the point. So I went to him and said, what should I do? I want to follow my passion, but it's not the most practical career path. Well, Mr. Walker sat back in his chair and laughed, and he gave me what is to this day still the best piece of advice I have ever received. In his deep, booming voice, he said, you don't have shit, so you don't have shit to lose. And he was right. I didn't. I had no wife, no kids, no responsibilities. I sure didn't have any money. It freed me to pursue something unconventional, and it changed the course of my life. Now, I worked hard, really hard, for almost no money. I struggled, I DJ'd, I did concert promotions, street promotions, passed out flyers in nightclub parking lots at 3 o'clock in the morning, until there was a point when I just didn't think I could take it anymore. It was 5 years later, I was 27. I didn't see how I was going to actually break into the business. And I felt defeated. I called my father, and I asked him to meet me. I told him I was ready to give up on this silly idea and go get a real job. He then said something that surprised me. He said, look, you've made it this far, you need to believe in yourself, keep going. I did. About 3 months later, I had 2 job offers from record labels. I ended up taking a job at Relativity Records doing A&R. What I learned from this is that you need to keep people around you who believe in you and support you, and expect to work hard for little or no money with no guarantees. While most of the barriers for releasing music have come down, they no longer exist, artists still need people to help them. That's not something that's going to change ever, and that's where you come in. Recently it was reported by a streaming service that they have a catalog of over 60 million songs, and 40,000 new songs are released every single day. I'm actually sure the number is much higher than that, because if you consider what's being directly uploaded onto YouTube and to SoundCloud, I'm sure it's much more. But let's go with that, 40,000 a day. If each song is 2.5 minutes long, and you wanted to hear what was released last week, you would have to listen to those songs back to back, non-stop with no sleep for 1 year and 4 months, just to hear each song once. that much music being released, and artists, labels, and publishers splitting fractions of pennies, discovery and monetization are significant challenges to artists these days. We faced different challenges when I first joined the label, like how to get our videos on MTV and how to get them on BET, or how to get them played on the radio. But within 2 years of my first job, I had A&R'd several successful records. The label moved me to New York, gave me additional responsibility. I had gold and platinum plaques on the wall. It was incredible. I had some real success under my belt. I was making a little bit of money and having a lot of fun. What a job it was. Then, I wanted to try to develop some talent on my own. I found 2 incredibly talented musicians, one from Tennessee, one from Florida. You've certainly never heard of them. Although they were incredibly talented, they didn't work hard. I thought, that's okay. They can just be talented, I can do the work. I worked harder on their careers than they did. They never even achieved a moderate level of success. But I kept going, and I had the good fortune of working with some incredibly talented, although nominally talented, musicians. They achieved a meaningful level of success. Even more fortunately, I got to work with some incredibly talented and hardworking musicians, and they achieved massive levels of success. And I learned one of the most valuable lessons I have ever learned in the business, and that is, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work. When you get the combination of incredible talent and a hard work ethic, you get people like Kanye West, Lil Wayne, G-Eazy, and The Roots, all of whom I've been lucky enough to play a role in helping their careers at one point or another. Don't invest time in someone who won't work, won't listen, or does things that appear to be work, but really aren't. People make excuses in the creative industries. They say they want to be singers, writers, producers, rappers, whatever. And then when they're not successful, they blame it on how hard the business is. But really, they're looking for a scapegoat for their lack of effort. Identify those people and stay away from them. Remember when I said the music business can be fun? It really can be. I've been able to meet my heroes, many of them. I still say that the coolest thing for me about being in the business is that not just that I've met Chuck D, but Chuck D knows me. I've been to the Grammys a bunch of times. I've taken my mentee, my sister, my beautiful wife, who's in the audience somewhere. Trying to keep the kids quiet. I've been to countless parties, backstage at concerts and festivals, traveled around the world. What a job this is. But there are rewards other than parties and concerts. I've been with clients and seen fans crying to them, telling them how important the song was that they made, how an album helped them get through a really difficult time in their life, like Public Enemy did for me when I was a teenager. But I've also felt some of that love directly, and it's an amazing feeling. As Dave mentioned, I wrote a book and built a set of tools called the Music Business Toolbox for independent musicians so that they can manage their business effectively and find success. One day, I was at South by Southwest, which is a great music festival and conference in Austin, Texas. And I was walking down 6th Street. It was crowded with people. You could hear music, smell barbecue, smell the beer. A young woman runs up to me and says, "Hey, you're Bryan Calhoun. You made the Music Business Toolbox. Thank you so much. It's been so helpful." And then she ran off and joined her friends. It's hard to describe how gratifying that moment was. And lucky for me, I've had many others like it. There is a song called "What a Job" by Devin the Dude, Snoop Dogg, and Andre 3000, 3 of my other favorite MCs. It beautifully illustrates the amazing things they get to do, make music and touch people. I'll quote it in part, but I won't embarrass myself by trying to spit Andre's lyrics because he's the GOAT. For parents who don't understand what I just said, ask your kids, they'll explain it to you later. Hell yeah, exactamundo. We just keep recording and it ain't to buy no condo. See, we do it for the boy that graduated, that looked you in your eyes real tough and says, I appreciate it. And that he wouldn't have made it if it wasn't for your CD number 9, and he's standing with his baby mama Kiki and she's crying. I said, I hate to cut you off, but I gotta go. I wish you could tell me more. But I'm off to the studio, I gotta write tonight. Hey, can you put us in your raps? I don't see why not. Devin is the dude, and you're probably gonna hear him talking about what a job this is. What can you do to make the world a better place? Use the power that you have to affect the change that you can. By helping artists, you are helping people. Be an agent of positive change by getting great music to people who need it. In order to do that, remember, you've got nothing, so you've got nothing to lose. Keep people around you who believe in you and support you. Expect to work hard in the beginning for little or no money. And hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work. What you are doing is important because music is important. Now, go make the world a better place and have fun doing it. Congratulations, class of 2019.